Hello, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Johnny Z. I'm here on behalf of the MMA community, asking Freddie Lee some questions. You, YouTube audience, Facebook, you brought up some very good questions. Freddie seems to be talking shit about the MMA community. You know, you have some things you gotta say. I read your comments, I got some questions, you got some answers, and maybe Freddie's got some answers. I don't know, Freddie. You got some answers for the audience? For instance, you say people like Anderson Silva are what? Pussies? Or like they're not martial artists? Like, you know, answer for us. Explain that. How are they not martial artists? These are great athletes. These are people that dedicate their lives to martial arts. So how can you say that they're not martial artists, man?
Well,
bro,
you gotta understand what the word art means. Art, there's an aspect of peace.
Look, man, I'm not gay, okay? I mean, I know you have this fixation on gay stuff and everything, but I'm not gay. And, you know, in my opinion, art, I don't know, that's for fags, man. So let's just kind of stick to, you know, what the basics. Like, so, okay, what are you trying to say about this art stuff now?
The art is, there's an element of peace in art. In MMA and cage fighting, it's not peaceful. It's very violent. So that takes the art out of it. It becomes martial sport, not martial art. So everybody that you think is a martial artist in there is not an artist. They're sport practitioners. They're athletes. I don't refute that they're athletes, but they're sport practitioners. They're fighters, but they're not martial artists. So they should not be labeling themselves as martial artists. They should not be using the label MMA. They should just be labeling themselves as combat sport fighters.
Oh, you don't mind if I have a beer, do you?
No.
Oh yeah, so we were talking about sports, right? Now, you know, the one thing I love about MMA, I mean, if you watch MMA and you actually look at MMA, you'd see shit like that. You know, the Silva Belfort, man, you know, it's like people like yourself, you know, you talk a lot of shit like Belfort did, you know, and then you saw what happened, man. You know, he always goes in a fight like, he goes in like this, you know, Belfort, and then he talks his shit, and then boom! You know, he got his ass laid out in the ring. And oh yeah, and then some of you guys think that shit's fixed. Well, you know what? They thought the Hogan, fucking, the Undertaker thing was fucking fixed. Well, fuck you, man.
So what's your question?
So you're saying that talking about it's sports is not martial arts?
No.
Well, okay, now, what's this thing about the Tao? What does that have to do? How does that, like, kick somebody's ass?
Well, the Tao is a reminder of the spirit of martial arts. There's a philosophy behind it, and it reminds you of the peacefulness. So once you start training in all this
Look, man, you want to talk about peacefulness and fucking Carta Blanca.
So once you start training in combat, it can be very easy to get engulfed in that violence. The Tao reminds you of the other side, of why you're training. And that's what the Tao is there for.
Oh. Alright, well there's one more question. You were talking about people, the element of MMA being somehow what? Like, we're not good or something. You know, it's like, he's trying to say we're not like human beings? We're not people? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that your energy is misguided. You guys' energy is towards violence. If you guys just change it up a little bit, add a little spirit into it, watch out for each other's health and safety, then it'll be better for you, it'll be better for society. Then it becomes martial arts. But you guys aren't watching out for each other's safety. You guys are knocking each other out. You guys are breaking each other's bones and teeth and killing each other in there. So that's not martial arts. That's not good for society.
Alright. Then you tell us what your idea of a good society is going to be.
Well,
if you don't think defending yourself, being able to fucking kick some ass, like, you know, hold on. Yeah, just give me a second. Bitch, I told you not to fucking call me on this phone. Look, don't make me come over there. Don't make me come home and fucking slap the shit out of you. No, don't get the fucking 6-pack of Carta Blanca. Yeah, that's what I fucking asked for yesterday.
Love you too, baby.
So where were we? I'm sorry.
What was your question? Do you remember? I don't even remember the question.
So we're just talking about like what your idea of the ideal world is. Like what is the ideal world for you? Where you can't kick ass, you can't, you know, you can't defend yourself, you just want to go around and do art?
Well, in a world where it's ideal, there'd be no wars, there'd be no fighting. That's ideal. We should strive for the ideal, even though it's impossible for there to be completely no fighting and completely no wars. We should still strive for it. So I'm not saying for us not to train in combat, but we got to train it in the right way, so then we maintain the peace. If you train in combat to promote more violence, that's not promoting the ideal world.
You know, I just have one more thought. You know, I've been reading a lot of people on Facebook, reading a lot of those threads on YouTube, and I think what's kind of come out a lot is, how come you feel like you gotta swear at us? I mean, what kind of example is that for a martial artist? I mean, but you're basically stooping to our level, right? I mean, that's what you would say, right?
Well, swearing is a device. It's a way to catch your attention. You know, and I'm not swearing at anybody individually to hurt their feelings. Notice I'm not forcing anybody to click the video. You clicked it yourself. And I've even advised people, if you don't like swearing, do not watch this video. The swearing is a device to catch your attention. And it's just kind of interesting how I've put over 1,800 videos out there, and I've never had one of those videos have like 1,000 views in one day. So clearly people are attracted to violence, no matter if it's violent language, violent behavior, or violent activity in general. So I gotta use that language in order to communicate to you, in order to get you to listen. Otherwise you'll probably fall asleep.
Huh?
Exactly.
Alright, so what makes this noodle wushu, whatever you do, modern kung fu, like how is something like that better than MMA?
Well, what I'm practicing is martial arts the way that it's supposed to be practiced, with the integration of the body, mind, and spirit. There is the spirit. MMA has no spirit. How it's better than MMA is like saying,
Whoa! You think people out there in the ring that aren't celebrating, that aren't like, you know, really feel like exhilarated? You think there's no spirit there? Is that what you're saying?
There's the ego. There's the pride. You know, they even had one of the organizers called Pride. And you got the UFC and got all these other stuff. But it's the ego. So the spirit is the no ego. It's the opposite of that. The spirit is like your inner heart, your inner spirit, your expression of peace and compassion. That's not in the ring or in that cage at all. So they need to just complete, the MMA people need to just complete their development with the spirit. You need to learn how to be more humble, how to be more peaceful, how to be more compassionate in order to balance it out. You guys are not balancing it out. You guys are just killing each other. You know, just straight war with each other. And that's why it can never be the ultimate. MMA can never be the ultimate because there's no spirit in it. So what I practice has a spirit, and that's always going to be a higher level.
Yeah, that's deep, man. It's like fucking Joe Rogan. I remember when he was talking about that Industrial military building complex shit. Yeah, that's just deep. 9/11 was an inside joke. A job. Fucking Joe Rogan, that's a little bit like Joe Rogan, So I hear you, man. That's kind of deep.
Yeah. So that's why I put the videos out there. Get you guys just to think a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Sifu Freddy, Johnny Z thanks you. The MMA community thanks you. Woo! Woo! Woo!